Alright. Ooh, a silver player. This guy must have been winning a lot to have such a high MMR. This is almost good enough. We have double shadow, and we have both the time and the primal. We have a turn 2 play, turn 3 and turn 4 play. All we need is draw land. I think this hand is amazing. I think this hand is really, really, really good. And I'm not convinced that a random mulligan is going to be better. Because even if I redraw, there's a 1/3, 33% chance I'll get back another 2-power hand, which means that, and I don't think there's going to be that many 2-power hands that are better than this one. So I think this is worth the minor gamble. And even if I miss a couple of power drops, I still have a turn 2 and play to hold the board for a couple of turns, and my turn 3 play is pretty decent. My turn 4 play is excellent. Oh, jeez. My opponent needs to have something good here. I have no removal, so if he plays any unit, I can't attack anymore. But actually, I have one removal. I need him to play a really weak unit. No, it's got Aegis. Can't attack through that one. So let's just go ahead and swing for 2 here. Clearly not going to block. We're not going to play this just to get rid of his Aegis. We'll save this for inevitably some kind of a flying unit in these colors. And there's a lot of flying units that are pretty weak defensively, so like that one. Let's. Oh yes, this is great. So let's just go ahead and kill it, and then swing in for 4. Next turn we can attack for 6. My opponent's falling behind on board pretty fast here. He needs to play a decent sized unit to hold us back. But basically any 3/3 will hold us back though. That's not gonna do it. Man, my draw has been just phenomenal. I don't think I can get any better draws than this. My opponent's deck. See, this is actually one of the problems by with playing Horu, and I explained this in a lot of detail when I drafted Horu in one of my earlier drafts, like draft 10 or 11 or something like that. You can't just have a bunch of flyers because the flying units are really small, and if your opponent just has a bunch of random 2/2s and 3/3s attacking into you, you will lose the race with flying units. What you need is you need to play those 2-power 1/4s, a whole bunch of 2-power 1/4s, 3-power 3/3s, or 2/3s or 2/4s. You just need a lot of units that have, doesn't matter what their attacks are, just have lots of health and clock up the ground so your opponent can't attack you with a bunch of 2/2s, and then you win, and you chip away at your opponent in the air for 2 or 3 or 4 damage per turn, and you win the game that way. You can't just get flying units. This hand is pretty mediocre. I mean, Dark Return is fantastic. Ice Bowl is also very good, but only if I also draw the other half. The other half being the infiltrate targets and the things worth bringing back. Let's play that. We'll gladly make this trade if he offers it. No, he doesn't. Okay, so this is alright. We go ahead and mill his top units. That'll slow him down from drawing something great or useful. And we're certainly not going to use Combust to kill that. So we'll sit here for a while. Our deck is not aggressive. Our deck is more of a mid-range deck. So we're happy to sit around. Oh, he's not attacking me. Sure. We are happy to continue to sit around. If he attacks us, we'll just take 4, I guess. Because I'm not sure if I want to use Extract on a 4/4. Because I can beat a 4/4 by just drawing another 2/2 unit. Yeah, let's just save the Extract. Basically, if I draw anything, any unit, I can just triple block the 4/4 and kill it. So there's no reason to waste a removal spell on it. My opponent's doing nothing, so he's probably got a handful of really good cards that are really expensive. Or he's power screwed. Maybe he's like... No, his main colors is time and shadow. Oh, okay, that's fine, I guess. Um, I guess at this point, we just do this, right? Do 5 damage to him per turn, and we'll kill this. So he... Oh! I clicked too fast. I missed 2 points of damage. I hope I don't lose this game because of 2 points of damage here. That would be terrible. That would be so silly of me. So he has no units apparently, because he didn't play any for 7 turns, really. So that Oni, by the way, that Fallen Oni, discarding his Ravenous Thornbeast, has made it so my opponent has nothing to play for 7 turns. So that's actually really amazing. Like this, I can just keep shooting. And yeah, just keep shooting this thing. Attacking for 2. Flail him for 6. He's dead in 3 turns at this rate. I have 2 more removal spells to kill the 1/1, so unless he draws a real unit that's got more than... Oh hey, my extract has Overwhelm. That is really cool. Okay, so he's gonna bring back the beast. So it's a 4/4, and now it's a 6/6. That's kind of unfortunate. Oh, he's not sacrificing it. So what do I do here? I still go ahead and overwhelm this thing for 5. Attack him with both of these units, and then we'll just use the extract to finish him off. Okay, so he doesn't. You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and use Dark Return on the Fallen Oni, because it might get rid of his top unit and allow me to block this 1 more turn and use the maul 1 more time. So my opponent here is in really bad manner, so we're gonna go ahead and mute him. Let's see here. We could actually go ahead and extract this and then shoot it with the bowl. I think I'll do that, because what happens is if he draws a removal spell and attacks us, we lose the maul, which is pretty bad. So let's just go ahead and do this. It also lets me find a card that's good. Yep, that seems okay. Yeah, Stone Star Magus is quite good. My opponent's drawn the same number of power as I did, but apparently a handful of stuff that he can't play. Oh, an 8-drop? Sure, I guess at this point, I'm just gonna have to kill this and trade. And then hit him for 7. Now we're in some trouble, because I was really banking on killing him with the Stone Scar Maul there. So if he has another one of these 8-drops, I might not have enough to go through it. Okay, Execute is quite good. I still have 6 power. Oh, he has 1 blocker, so he's going to be able to... I don't know if I want to use my Amethyst Acolyte on him, because he's just going to trade here and take 4, go to 2. Actually, that's probably good enough for me. Yep. We are a little flooded. I mean, so is our opponent. I drew 8 cards or 10 cards and 9 power, so that's almost 50-50. But our opponent draw just as many power than we did, so it's not like we are more mana flooded than our opponent. Our opponent is just as mana flooded. He's only drawn 3 units this entire game: a Combrei Stranger, a Beast, and a Behemoth. And we milled the Beast once, and we milled the Acolyte here. The Fallen Oni has actually done a pretty good job. An admirable job this game, actually. He's thinking about something. He's really thinking it through. He can make a unit, and he needs 1 more thing to basically stop me from killing him. Or this opponent seems to be pretty bad-mannered. I muted him already. He was just using too many emotes. So I have a feeling he's just wasting our time here. Yeah, I think he might just be wasting our time to let the time run out. So in the meanwhile, I guess we'll just chat about this game a little bit. Our opponent has... I mean, from the cards that we have seen him play, our opponent has a pretty bad deck. Well, that's not true. Acolyte is pretty good. The Ravenous Thornbeast is quite good, and Dark Return is very good. He's missing a sacrifice outlet for his Thornbeast. But He also has 8 drops in his deck, and generally speaking, I'm not a huge fan of playing 8 power units. Even though the one he played is pretty decent, it gained him a lot of life. It almost helped him stabilize the board. If he had just drawn a couple more real cards, he would have stabilized. Um, but I'm actually really curious as to what is in his hand, because he has 8 power, and he has all the faction requirements that I can see. And he had those cards the entire game. He's never played them. So, and I'm not sure if he made a land drop on the last turn. So, are they just 2 more power sources that he didn't play out, or what cards could they be that he couldn't use them? Because if they were combat tricks, he could have used them on his 1/1s. If they were removal spells, he would have used it on my units. If they were weapons, he would have definitely put it onto his 1/1s as well. So I can't imagine what those are. Probably just more power sources, I guess. If those were power sources, then my opponent definitely got power flooded more than we did, because he would have had, I think, 12 power, including the cards in his hand, and that's really unfortunate. So I can understand his frustration, but yeah. Yet another game decided by power-related issues. So the loss was me getting power screwed. This opponent lost to me because he got power screwed, and this opponent lost because he got power flooded more than I did. Such is eternal. Let's play our, hopefully, the last game. The queue has been really slow tonight. The last game that we played, or the last game, I think the queue was like 2 minutes. I had to pause the video to wait for the queue. Yeah, so it's almost the end of the month now. It's the 27th, I think the 27th or 28th now, and the month is almost coming to a close. At the beginning of next month, we're gonna have I already have an amazing gimmicky brew ready to show you. I've been working on it all week long. I've recorded a bunch of videos for it already. It's super spicy, and also competitive. In the first half of the month, I usually play gimmicky brews that usually don't work out very well, and if you look at my history and my channel, I lose a lot with these brews. Last month, we came up with a competitive brew with Divining Rod using deadly units, and that deck is actually very good. I used that deck this month to climb into Masters, but I didn't use it to climb Masters. I actually climbed 400 ranks in Masters last night using this new brew that I have. It's pretty spicy. It's definitely gimmicky. It's not a tier 1 deck that you know of, but it's super fun, and I'm really looking forward to showcasing that deck at the beginning of next month. And this is a deck that you can definitely use to get into Masters with. So super excited about that. And for any of you who are new to the channel, if you look back, I always label decks casual versus competitive. Actually, I just label them casual if they're casual, and if it's not labeled casual, they're competitive. If you're interested in casual decks, there's a lot of really fun ones. In fact, right now, if you look at the meta in ranked right now, a lot of people are playing the 4-color Infinite Echo Revenge Macto deck. I'm sure you played against it if you were in ranked. I actually made a version of that deck 3 or 4 months ago, before it got popular. So this is easy maul. Can't play anything in my hand, and it's also the wrong power. This is not great, but at the very least, turn 2, turn 4, and all the influence requirements that we need in our entire deck. So this is not horrendous. Turn 2, turn 3, turn 4. Great. So our curve is looking pretty good. Yeah, the deck that I made earlier this month with Divining Rod and Deadly units, it uses Vera Fate Touched, a Divining Rod, and a whole bunch of Deadly units like Ashara the Quick Shot, or the Dead Shot. I don't remember her full name. That deck is super sweet, and it's actually very good. I actually have a couple of friends of mine who's told me that they climbed into Masters this month with that deck. So I think it's definitely something you guys should check out. Alright, back to this game. My opponent has done nothing for many turns, but he has multiple echo cards in the beginning of the game. So in these colors, it could only be the 4 power 3/2 Yeti, which obviously isn't because he didn't play anything. It could also be Herald's Song, which probably might not be the case because he probably would have used 1 or 2 copies of it. What I'm actually really scared of is the 5/6 Flying Dragon, the Thunderstrike Dragon, which, if it is the case, he will play next turn. And I'm really worried about that dragon, actually. Because that dragon it's 5/6, it's absolutely gigantic. So, I'm also really worried that he has removal spells, because he's looking like he's playing with a bunch of instant speed spells. So that means I could stand to lose a lot of cards here if he has a Death Strike. But I can't sit here and do nothing, so I'm going to go ahead and do this. No, he has no instant speed spells. And he drew another Echo card. So that could just... What? Okay, and they're not Thunderstrike Dragons, apparently. What? What's going on? My opponent drew... Oh, maybe there were findaways and he's missing his time. My opponent did literally nothing this game. I don't understand. I don't understand what just happened. I'm pretty convinced that my opponent has like a time-based deck, and he just drew no time sigils, and he has like 6 copies of Find a Way in his hand. Because that doesn't make any sense. There's no card in blue or black that has Echo that he can't play. Right? Because even if it's unstable form, he could use the unstable form in my units. Herald's Song he can play, the 3/2 Yeti he can play, the Thunderstrike Dragon he has more than enough power to play this turn. So the only explanation is it's in a different faction, and what that would mean is that my opponent is 6x, so he's clearly not a bad player, and he's clearly got a good deck. Otherwise, you wouldn't be at the 6x slot playing on the 7th game. So that makes another game decided by power-related issues. That's 1 game, 2 game, 3 game, 4 out of 8 games decided on power-related issues. Either power screw, power flood, or influence. That's really, really high percentage. I think influence screwed is actually more the player's fault for drafting not enough color fixing, because color fixing in this game is abundantly available in strangers and in banners. You could always get them if you look for them, and if you're willing to sacrifice a high pick for them, you can always get them. So when I get influence screwed, I don't typically complain, because I think that is something that can be addressed and you can draft around it. And sometimes I do pick banners and strangers very highly near the end of the draft when I realize that I'm running out of playable fixing. So I think that last one, if it is in fact power related issue, it's 50% variance's fault and 50% drafting fault. I think that's my guess. I don't know. Maybe my opponent has a lot of Seek powers and he just didn't draw them and it's all variance's fault. But typically speaking, when it comes to influence related problems, I think it's about 50-50. But the power screw here, and the power flood here is 100%, I think, the game's fault. And I really hope Direwolf Digital, if you guys watch my videos, I don't think you do, but if anybody from Direwolf Digital watches these videos, please have a serious talk about power related problems. It's the number one thing that makes people not like this game. It's the number one thing that people complain about on Reddit and on the forums. It's power related non-games where the players don't get to make decisions, nobody has any fun, and it's a complete waste of time on both players' part. You might as well just shuffle your deck, and then if there's only 2 power in the top 10 cards, just auto concede for the player and just not waste anybody's time at that point. But anyway, that's a little bit of a rant. It's my pet peeve with Eternal. I deal with it the best I can, but I do get frustrated when I spend an hour and a half to 2 hours making a video and 4 of our games are not that interesting because someone got screwed on power. But as always, thank you very much for watching. This is most likely going to be the last draft video that I make this month. It is already the 28th, it's the end of the month. So next month, The same cycle begins. First half of the month, we'll do gimmicky fun brews. Second half of the month, climbing the competitive rank top 100. As always, thanks for watching. If you like what you see, give me a thumbs up or like, and subscribe for more videos. Oh, let's claim our reward and see what we get. Okay, none of these cards I'll play. Thanks for watching.